Azaria Tagaya, and this is Nightline. The top stories. No pension scheme will apply to politicians too, says Prime Minister. MACC summons another son of Tun Dr. Mahathir. And World Court orders Israel to take steps to prevent acts of genocide in Gaza. Good morning. The search and rescue SAR operation for 3 more landslide victims at Kampong Raja, Blue Valley in Cameron Highlands in Pahang has been suspended at 7 p.m. on Friday due to heavy rain. State Fire and Rescue Department Deputy Director Muhammad Ghazani Muhammad Ghazi said the operation would continue at 7 a.m. on Saturday. According to Muhammad Ghazani, heavy rain has led to adverse weather conditions and the soil structure has become unsafe and risky. Due to this, all SAR team members have been told to exit from the landslide area to ensure their safety. The SAR operation was supposed to continue until 10 p.m. with a team of 84 personnel from various agencies. Earlier, 2 bodies were located and retrieved from the landslide area. In the incident around 2:40 a.m. on Friday, 5 Myanmar nationals, including a woman, were feared buried after 2 houses occupied by the victims were buried in the landslide. They were identified as Shing Lan Har, Shing Aung, Om Mue, Hap Hai and Tang Mong, all aged between 25 and 56. Initial investigations found that 3 of the victims were members of a family, including a married couple as well as the husband's father, and all of them were employed in the vegetable farms in the area. New laws governing the salaries of all public sector workers and their pensions will apply to all future political appointments. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also the Finance Minister, however, said the proposed salary and pension schemes will be taken to Parliament first for a decision on the appropriate steps to be made.
Kalau kita mula pada 1 Februari 2024, semua kemasukan baru itu tidak berpencen, maka itu juga sama untuk semua pelantikan baru ahli politik. Jadi ada orang kata mengapa tidak? Tidak. Soal yang lain, ada yang pernah jadi menteri besar, pernah jadi menteri, kemudian jadi Perdana Menteri, itu untuk keperlembagaan kita boleh kaji, tapi kita tidak boleh kebelakangkan retrospektif. Untuk yang baru kita boleh kaji. Jadi saya ingat tidak ada masalah kita nak tukar penyesuaian ini.
Speaking to the media before joining a group of people for lunch on Friday, Anwar said any government will realise that the economic situation is unlikely to last if it does not do something about the retirement scheme. He said currently there is a lot of confusion regarding the pension cancellation announcement that was announced earlier, and added that a follow-up statement will be made by Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan. Therefore, he asked the people to first listen to the proposals submitted, discuss and examine them, as well as give suggestions for improvement before any decision is finalised. Anwar was commenting on Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's remarks last Wednesday that newly appointed civil servants will no longer receive pensions under the traditional government scheme, but will have to contribute to the Employees Provident Fund and the Social Security Organisation in order to get them. He said that whatever salary and pension scheme that is decided for the public sector workers will also apply to all political appointees to government-linked companies. However, the government will first look into how the proposed new salary and pension schemes will affect future heads of government, including the state governments and ministers. Meanwhile, existing public servants who have chosen the pension scheme will not be affected by the finalised public service remuneration system. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan emphasised that there will be no changes for civil servants who are presently working with the government. However, for new civil servants, they will enter on a contract basis for the time being. He said this year the government had allocated 31 billion ringgit for pension payments to retirees, and the figure was expected to increase to 120 billion ringgit in 2040. He also pointed out that in terms of the country's financial management, 48% of the budget was allocated to emoluments and pensions. He added that if the government can lighten the existing burden, the surplus can be channeled to other areas that are important for the people and the country, such as education and better infrastructure facilities. He said the government was also committed to improving the welfare of civil servants, including the payment of a 2,000 ringgit bonus to be paid next month and an allocation of 2.4 billion ringgit to build, maintain and refurbish quarters for civil servants, teachers, hospital staff as well as policemen, military personnel and firemen nationwide. The government will increase the rahma cash aid or STR to 500 ringgit per household for this year from the current 300 ringgit, with payments being dispersed beginning this Monday. The allocation for STR Phase 1 will consequently climb 26% from the previous year to 2.1 billion ringgit in efforts to help a larger number of people in dealing with the rising cost of living. In a statement, the Finance Ministry said the increase will benefit a total of 8.2 million eligible individuals who have registered for this year's Rahmah Cash Aid. The Ministry also said the figure is expected to rise to about 9 million individuals once new applications are accepted throughout the year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also the Finance Minister, said spiralling cost of living was one of the main issues raised to him during his engagements with Malaysians. He said the Madani government was sensitive to the people's concerns and will continue to enhance the STR in its efforts to help the Rakyat manage the rising cost of living. The Finance Ministry said Phase 1 payments for registered recipients will be credited into their bank accounts or distributed in cash through Bank Simpanan Nasional BSN in stages beginning this Monday. It said the disbursement will be made according to their respective STR qualification categories. Recipients from the household category with income of less than 2,500 ringgit will receive 500 ringgit in Rahmah Cash Aid, while for the household category with income of between 2,501 ringgit and 5,000 ringgit will be eligible to receive between 100 and 300 ringgit. Senior citizen recipients with no spouse will receive 150 ringgit and single or unmarried individuals will receive 100 ringgit in Rahmah Cash Aid. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has summoned Tan Sri Mokhzani, another son of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, for questioning on Friday. The prominent businessman appeared at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya at 11 a.m, reportedly to have his statement recorded and to be served an asset declaration notice. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki, when contacted, confirmed the matter and said several more people will be summoned to receive similar notices from the MACC.
Betul, kita ada manggil dan menyerahkan notis untuk persiapan data kepada Tan Sri Mokhzani pada pagi inilah di SPRM. In general, kita siasat dia di bawah kesalahan akta rasuah kita ni, dan kita menghendaki dia untuk mengisytiharkan data dia lah.
Azam added that Mokhzani has been requested to declare all movable and immovable assets under his possession, both domestically and internationally, within 30 days from the date of the notice. The MACC will then decide the next course of action once it has concluded its investigation. The probe into Mokhzani is believed to be related to his shareholding in government-linked companies, GLCs, that secure government projects. On January 18th, it was reported that the MACC also requested Mokhzani's brother, Mirzan, to declare his assets as part of an investigation into all entities and related assets named in the Pandora Papers and Panama Papers leaks.
New water rates. How to guarantee that the adjustment contribute to essential infrastructure improvements and long-term conservation efforts. Maintaining water quality and reducing pollution. What effective measures are needed to counter the potential impact of industrial activities on water quality? Money Matters with National Water Services Commission Chairman Charles Santiago this Saturday on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
Former Dewan Negara President Tun Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar has been appointed the 8th Yang di-Pertua Negeri of Sarawak. The appointment takes effect Friday. Wan Junaidi received the instrument of appointment from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah in a ceremony at Balai Ruang Kecil Istana Negara in Kuching on Friday. Also in attendance at the ceremony was Raja Permaisuri Agong, Tunku Aziza Amina Maimuna Iskandaria. The 77-year-old Wan Junaidi was appointed the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Sarawak by Article 1 of the Sarawak Constitution for 4 years, effective January 26, 2024 until January 26, 2028. Wan Junaidi replaces Tun Abdul Taib Mahmud, who held the post for 3 terms from March 1st, 2014. At the ceremony, Wan Junaidi was also conferred the Seri Maharaja Mangkunegara Award, which carries the title of Tun. The ceremony was also attended by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Sarawak Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg and Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof. Wan Junaidi was born in Kampung Pendam, now Sadong Jaya, Sarawak, on February 1st, 1946. He has been on the front lines in defending the sovereignty of the land from the communist threat, in addition to having extensive experience in national administration matters. He joined the Royal Malaysian Police Force, PDRM, in 1964, before serving in the Forest Police Force from 1968 to 1973. During that period, he was assigned to the Rajang Security Command, RASCOM, and risked his life in several series of operations against the Communist Party of North Kalimantan in the Miri, Sibu and Kapit regions. He then studied law at the University of Buckingham, England in 1978, before becoming a legal practitioner from 1982 to 2008. The beginning of his journey as a Member of Parliament MP began in 1990 after winning the Batang Lupa parliamentary seat in the 8th general election, which he defended for 2 terms. He then moved to the Santubong Parliament constituency at the 11th general election and successfully defended the seat for 4 terms until the general election in 2022. At the federal level, the Sarawak-born once held positions including Deputy Home Minister, Natural Resources and Environment Minister and Entrepreneurship and Cooperative Development Minister, in addition to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law. Turkey moving swiftly to conclude Sweden's NATO bid. News from the foreign front when we return. We're back with news from the foreign front. The World Court on Friday has ordered the Zionist regime to prevent acts of genocide against the Palestinians and to do more to help civilians. However, it stopped short of ordering a ceasefire as requested by South Africa. While the ruling denied Palestinian hopes of a binding order to halt the war in Gaza, it also represented a legal setback for Israel, which has hoped to throw out a case brought under the Genocide Convention established in the ashes of the Holocaust. The International Court of of Justice (ICJ) found that Palestinians were protected under the convention and that there was a case to be heard regarding whether their rights were being denied in a war. The ICJ also stated that the war was causing grievous humanitarian harm to the Palestinians, following which the judges have ordered the Zionist regime to take immediate measures to prevent genocide, punish incitement, improve the humanitarian situation and report progress within a month. Although the ruling cannot be appealed, the court, however, has no mechanism to enforce its decision. While the ICJ ruling was taking place, the death toll in Gaza crossed yet another grim mark on Friday. Gaza's health ministry confirmed at least 26,083 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes since October 7th last year. According to the authorities, the Israeli forces committed 19 massacres against families in the Gaza Strip, leaving at least 183 people martyred, while 377 others were left injured over the past 24 hours. It was also reported that many people were still trapped under rubble and on the roads as rescuers were unable to reach them. The Zionist regime has also continued to deliberately target and besiege the Al Nasser and Al Amal hospitals in Khan Yunis. To date, the Israeli offensive has left 85% of Gaza's population internally displaced amid acute shortages of food, clean water and medicine, while 60% of the enclave's infrastructure were left damaged or destroyed. Turkey is expected to send the final instrument of ratification for Sweden's NATO membership to Washington within days. This comes after its president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, signed it off, a move Ankara hopes will clear the way to its purchase of US F-16 fighter jets. A source familiar with the issue mentioned that the document could be deposited as early as Friday, marking the last step in a process that began in 2022. The final document in the process, known as the Instrument of Ratification, will now be sent to Washington following NATO rules. After a 20-month delay, Turkey moved rapidly this week to ratify the Swedish bid, with parliamentary ratification coming on Tuesday. Thailand secure knockout round berth. Action from the AFC Asian Cup after this breather. decide to give a 5 million ringgit allocation to the Football Association of Malaysia (FAM) for managing and strengthening the national football squad. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the allocation was in recognition of the strong fighting spirit shown by Harimau Malaya in the AFC Asian Cup, especially their success in holding Asian giant South Korea to a 3-all draw in their final Group E match at Al Janoub Stadium in Doha late Thursday.
Kerajaan telah bersetuju meluluskan tambahan 5 juta ringgit kepada FAM supaya dapat mengurus pasukan bola dan meningkatkan keupayaan mereka.
Anwar spoke to the media before joining a group of people, including Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh, for lunch on Friday. He said it was an amazing encounter against South Korea, with the Harimau Malaya squad showing capability, determination and unwavering spirit despite having lost their first 2 matches. Anwar said the allocation would be extended to the national football body soon. Meanwhile, in Friday's match, Southeast Asian giants Thailand are through to the round of 16 after playing to a goalless draw against 3-time champions Saudi Arabia in their final Group F match on Thursday. In the opening minutes, Saudi Arabia had a penalty opportunity, but the War Elephants goalkeeper Saranon Anwin denied Abdullah Hadi Radif's effort. Despite several disallowed goals due to offside decisions on both sides, neither team managed to break the deadlock. The match ended without a single goal despite a flurry of chances at both ends, with Thailand remaining one of 2 teams not to concede a goal in the group stage alongside hosts Qatar. With the result, Thailand will take on Uzbekistan in the next round, while Group F winner Saudi Arabia will face South Korea. In another match, Kyrgyzstan and Oman made their respective exits from the AFC Asian Cup after playing to a 1-all draw in their final group clash. Oman, needing a victory to secure their spot in the knockout stage, took an early lead with Muhsin Saleh Abdullah Ali Al Ghassani's 8th-minute opener. However, Joel Kojo's late goal for Kyrgyzstan in the 91st minute dashed hopes for Branko Ivankovic's side. The late goal set the stage for a grandstand finish, with both sides trying desperately to find the winning goal, but to no avail as their respective campaigns came to an end. The result saw Indonesia emerge as the significant beneficiary, securing a spot in the round of 16 as one of the top 4 third-placed finishers. When Nightline returns, hot daddy charged with running prostitution racket. Back with us on Nightline, police have detected the existence of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, manipulating fraud victims under the guise of assisting them in recovering lost money, but for a fee. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID Director Datuk Seri Ramli Muhammad Yusof said these NGOs also levy a service charge, but with no guarantee that the victims will get back their defrauded money. According to Ramli, the police welcome efforts made by any parties in disseminating information and commercial crime prevention messages, but stress that they should not manipulate the fraud victims for their own benefit. He also said, based on the country's legal system, victims of scams must file their claims for compensation or losses through the court, as the procedure can only be handled by professionals who are certified legal practitioners. Therefore, he pointed out that any service offered in the form of a debt collector by an NGO needs careful evaluation, as it is not protected under the law. He added that there is a concern that the service charge imposed will only lead to further losses for the victims in addition to the money already lost in scams. In another development, Ramli revealed that from January 1st to 15th, the CCID has opened 1,918 investigation papers of various commercial crime cases involving losses amounting to 92,135,144 ringgit. Based on the upward trend of cases and the value of losses recorded for the first 15 days of the year, he assured that the CCID will intensify its efforts to curb the crime. A man who sold explicit videos of himself engaging in sexual activities with over 20 women on the Telegram application has been jointly charged with his 2 female friends. Father of 3, Hasli Ikhwan Arif Zul Hasli, aged 32, Nur Shazrina Muhammad Zamri, 27, and Nur Hidayah Mahadi, 24, however, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read out to them before Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court Judge Siti Aminah Ghazali. The charge sheet read that they had, at the office of Bukit Aman's Anti-Vice Gambling and Secret Societies Division D7, made advertisements for sexual activities on the X application. They committed the offence on January 16th at about 10:10 a.m. The charge, framed under Section 372, subsection 1, subsection E of the Penal Code, read with Section 34 of the same Act, carries a punishment of up to 15 years imprisonment, whipping and a fine upon conviction. Judge Siti Aminah set 10,000 ringgit bail with 1 surety and set February 28th for mention. The trio were recently arrested by D7 officers at a house in Kampong Janda Baik, Bentong in Pahang last week. Initial investigations revealed that the main suspects started selling and promoting sexual enhancement drugs from China through social media platforms since early last year. The modus operandi involved inviting customers to subscribe through promotional links advertised by the suspect on Telegram before payment transactions were agreed upon. After payment was made, the suspect would send a link to the customer to continue watching the explicit videos that the suspect himself performed. 3 boys drowned after swimming in a pool at an army camp in Temerloh, Pahang on Friday. State Fire and Rescue Department Director Datuk Dr. Wan Muhammad Zaidi Wan Isa said they received a distress call about the drowning at the 7-feet-deep pool at 5:55 p.m. The 3 boys, 2 aged 11 and 1 aged 13, were sent to Sultan Ahmad Shah Hospital by military ambulance before the firefighters arrived. However, they were confirmed dead upon arrival by medical officers. Initially, the firefighters were informed that there was another boy who had not been located at that time, so they proceeded with a search operation at the pool. Firefighters also pumped water out of the pool with the assistance of the army personnel, but did not find any other victim. The boy was then found safe at another location and was handed over to his family. The victims' bodies were taken to the hospital's forensic department for post-mortem. Now, as we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look at a pre-auction exhibition featuring items once belonging to Hollywood star Marilyn Monroe and Playboy magazine founder Hugh Hefner in Hong Kong. Among the collection, the most expensive item is a black evening gown worn by Marilyn during the filming of the 1955 movie The 7-Year Itch, which is expected to fetch up to $200,000 US. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.